Good evening and welcome, fans, to another episode of 162 Times, your daily baseball recap and preview show. I'm your host, Daniel Turner. It is a pleasure to be with you here on a Tuesday night. We got a great show for you. The Mariners played a hell of a game last night. Hell of a game. Can't wait to tell you all about it. They played their first of 4 against the Chicago White Sox at home. So obviously we're going to talk all about that. And I think you can tell by the tone of my voice that it went well. But I'm going to tell you how well it went. Okay? And then we will look at Game 2 of that series, which is just underway. And finally, we'll bring you the scores from a slow Monday night in the major leagues. So, let's get right to it. The Mariners played Game 1 of 4 against the Chicago White Sox at T-Mobile Park in Seattle, Washington last night. And guess what? They came away with an 8-4 victory. Yes! And with that victory, they moved to 38-30, still first in the American League West. The Chicago White Sox dropped to 17-50. Fifth, no doubt, in the American League Central Division. And they are the first team to hit the 50-digit on either the win or loss column this season in the major leagues. So the Sox are not great. But the Mariners had to really work for this one. Really, really work for this one. At the end of the day, the win went to Ryan Stanek, his 4th of the year. He's now 4-1 with a 4.38 ERA. The loss went to a guy whose last name is Leisure. So the Leisure suit, Jordan Leisure, it's not spelled leisure, it's spelled like Leasure, but still. Sounds like a Chicago White Sox reliever in 2024. He's 0-2 with a 4.23 ERA now. The Mariners had 11 hits for 8 runs. The White Sox had 9 hits for 4 runs. Neither team committed an error. Boom. Starting pitching was pretty good. On the Mariners side, it was Logan Gilbert. He went 6 2/3, gave up 6 hits. It's a lot. But only 3 runs and 3 earned runs. No walks. Struck out 8 and gave up 1 home run. Pretty solid, frankly. That's a quality start right there. 6 innings and less than 3 earned runs. Or 3 earned runs or less. Eric Fedde for the White Sox was even better. He went 7 full innings, gave up 5 hits, only 1 run, 1 earned run, 1 walk, struck out 4, and 1 home run. And we'll talk about that in a second because that was the turning point in the game, that 1 home run that he gave up. The Mariners bullpen wasn't great. They had Matt Bowman, the guy they signed recently, and then have, spoiler alert, DFA'd right away. So he got 1 shot with the Mariners. He didn't look great. 2/3 of an inning, 1 hit, 1 run, 1 earned run, 1 walk, and a home run given up. Attaboy. They then turned the ball over to Kirby Snead, the Mariners did. He did 2/3 of an inning, gave up 2 walks. Otherwise, no damage done. He's also been DFA'd, designated for assignment. So Kirby Snead and Matt Bowman, you're out of here. Ryan Stanek got the win. He pitched the final inning of the game. He gave up 2 hits but struck out 3. Attaboy Ryan. On the White Sox side, it was Mike Kopech or Matt Kopech who blew the save. Michael Kopech. He gave up 4 hits, 3 runs, 3 earned runs, 1 walk, and 2 Ks in 2/3 of an inning. And then it was Leisure who ended up with the loss. He did 2/3 of an inning, 2 hits, 4 runs, 4 earned runs, 2 walks, and a home run given up. So, okay, what are you trying to tell me, Dan? All this excitement. Well, before I get to that, Fedde threw 93 pitches and Logan Gilbert threw 95. Both starters were excellent. Both starters kept it to a very tidy, respectable score. Thank you very much. There was no scoring until the 6th. However, in the 6th, Luis Robert Jr. homered his 5th of the year, a moonshot to left field. That scored Corey Lee. 2-0 White Sox at that point. Then, top 7, Lenine Sosa, line drive, scoring Andrew Vaughn. Add-on runs for the White Sox against the Mariners at home? Ugh, disgusting. I was furious. That was top of 7, 3-0 White Sox at that point. Top of 8, gets even worse. Corey Julks, the leadoff man, comes on, and he muscles a homer off Matt Baumann to left field, a la Dylan Moore. It's a 4-0 game for the White Sox. In the top of the 8th, not great. But White Sox manager left Eric Fedde in the game 1 inning too long. Fedde was amazing. He had thrown 92 pitches and gotten through 7 innings against the Seattle Mariners, a decent offense. Well, guess what? Dom Canzone leads off the 8th. First pitch he sees, crushed to center field. Life in the building, 4-1. Not only did we get a hit, we got a run. It's 4-1. It just made something happen. Then they made a pitching change. They bring in Michael Kopech. He cannot find the zone. He walks the bases loaded. Mariners have an opportunity to drive in at least one run, but they kind of fart around a little bit, and it falls to Mitch Haniger with 2 outs. And he does a nice little bloop Mitch single into right field. Attaboy, Mitchie. Just put the ball in play. It drops in, 2 runs scored. Ryan Bliss, J.P. Crawford, no problem. Josh Rojas moves to 3rd. Haniger at 1st. They pinch run for Haniger. Leo Rivas comes on to pinch run for Haniger. Then Luke Raley. And what have I said about Luke Raley? Did I not say that Luke Raley was a little weird? So he's got 2 outs. And he decides to lay down a bunt on a 99-mile-an-hour fastball up and in. Nearly impossible to do. He lays down the most perfect bunt down the third base line. Pitcher, third baseman, can't figure out who should get it. Dave Sims on the broadcast was in full voice, and he's like, that's gonna work. And it worked. Rojas scores, tying the game. Raley almost took Christopher Negron, the Mariners' first base coach's head off with his celebration because he was so fired up for having tied the game on a brilliant play. Total madman screwball stuff to lay down a bunt in that situation, but it was just magical. Ties the game. Amazing. That was it for the 8th. They couldn't get any more runs. Bottom of 9, though, they get the bases loaded after Crawford, Rojas, and Julio got on base. I can't remember exactly how. Yeah, it was like 2 men on, and then Julio had a clutch single that moved the runners around and got them in position. And then it's Cal Raleigh, and he's facing Leisure, and it's like, all he's got to do is put the ball in play. Like, it's 2 outs, but all he's got to do is put the ball in play. And, by God, that's exactly what he did. He was hitting from his power side on the left side, and just like he did in 2022 against the Oakland Athletics to send the Mariners to the playoffs, he crushes a home run to right field. Just an absolute moonshot, a no-doubter, a walk-off grand slam. Scintillating stuff, just scintillating stuff from Big Cal. Second game in a row where he had a huge RBI in the 9th inning. And unfortunately, Dave Sims, the broadcaster who'd called a great game, he, for whatever reason, thought there was 3 men on. So his victory call is pretty good, but he's like, Cal Raleigh with a 3-run homer. Yeah. And it's like, no, man, he brought out the rye bread and mustard, mama. That's a grand salami. Anyway, just stupendous end to the ball game. I'm glad I stayed up for it. It was a little rock and roll. I thought they were definitely going to lose to the White Sox, and nope. They said nope. They said nope to that, and only struck out 6 times. Way to go, Mariners. That's all I got for you. It was just a terrific game, and it ends on a Cal Raleigh walk-off grand slam. Like, don't get much better than that. So anyway, I'm spent. I wanted to say that all day. It's just a wonderful thing when they win like that. Today they're at it again against the same team. And they've got, so there was a couple things that happened. So they were supposed to have Brian Wu starting for the Mariners tonight, but he was scratched late, and is going to undergo MRI, I heard, or maybe he's just getting an extra day of rest. So they called up Jonathan Diaz from AAA Tacoma. He's got a career regular season record of 2-1 with a 4.71 ERA and a 1.76 WHIP, so not super great. He's got no win-loss record in the regular season. He's only started this one game, so this is his first start of the year. He's a 27-year-old. So we're hoping for good things from him. We haven't seen him yet this year for the Mariners. On the White Sox side of things, they are going with Drew Thorpe, who I mentioned in the preview show, from Utah, the 23-year-old. This is also his first start in his career. So, good for you, Drew Thorpe. He was a second-round pick of the New York Yankees in 2021. So, in 2022, pardon me. So, he could be a good player. In terms of the lineups, the White Sox are rolling out a similar thing to what we saw last night, I guess. They got Corey Julks leading off, playing left field. Lenin Sosa playing third, batting second. Luis Robert Jr., center field, batting third. Vaughn at first base, cleaning up. DeYoung at shortstop, batting fifth. Corey Lee DHing, not catching tonight. He'll bat sixth. Zach Deloche, right field, batting seventh. Nicky Lopez, second base, batting eighth. And old Mariners killer from the Astros, Martin Maldonado, will start behind the plate for the White Sox tonight and bat ninth. On the Mariners side of things, it's Crawford leading off, playing short. Josh Rojas at third base. He'll bat second. Julio Rodriguez will play center field and bat third. Cal Raleigh will catch and bat fourth. Mitch Haniger in right field, batting fifth. Luke Raley starting at first. He'll bat sixth. Mitch Garver will DH and bat seventh. Dom Canzone will be in left field, batting eighth. And Ryan Bliss will round out the order and play second base. So good lineup for the Mariners there. In terms of how the other teams did on Monday night, like I said, it was a real slow night. I mean, Monday's an off night for a lot of teams as they travel and transition series and whatnot. Mondays and Thursdays are basically the slow nights in the majors. Otherwise, teams are usually embroiled in a series. So there was only 7 games last night. The Giants crucially beat the Astros 4-3 in 10 innings. Let's just look to see who got the winning RBI for the Giants, because we appreciate that kind of stuff. In the bottom of the 10th, it was Brett Wisely scoring Casey Schmidt to make it 3-2. Houston had put a couple runs across in their half of the 10th. And it was Patrick Bailey scoring Brett Wisely to make it 3-3. And then Austin Slater singling on a sharp line drive to left fielder Joey Loperfido. Patrick Bailey scores. Game over. Giants win the ball game. Cool. Good for you, Giants. Thanks for beating the Astros. We like that. Orioles beat the Rays 5-2. Twins beat the Rockies 5-0. Yanks beat the Royals 4-2. Brewers beat the Blue Jays 3-1. Padres beat the Athletics 6-1. So all in all, a good night for the Mariners in terms of how other things shaped up. The Royals losing is good. The Orioles winning is sort of predictable. The Twins winning is not great for the wild card, but whatever. Anyway, just remember, Cal Raleigh walked it off with a grand slam last night. His third walk-off hit of his career. And so we're gonna keep that going tonight. We're gonna keep that energy going and just take it to the White Sox as we move through life in this month. Thank you so much for listening. We'll catch you tomorrow.